Why do other generations think there's no hope for this
Because they're all iPad kids.
generation? With countless cases of kids acting out in public, lashing out, and behaving erratically, many believe that Gen Alpha is already ruined.
Do you know what I think the true problem with Gen Alpha is, right? And this is just my take. You see, when we were all like younger, our parents had energy. I just believe now with Gen Alpha, our parents that have had kids later on in their lives don't have as much energy as they did when we were kids.
You see babies and toddlers often throwing temper.
Can you imagine, bro? Let me throw a tangent like this when I was younger. I'm cooked.
Tantrums the second their smart devices are taken away, and teachers are begging parents to do something because their kids barely scrape by in school.
When I have a kid, I don't think I'm gonna give him like a tablet until like he's like 10.
Time and time again, we hear about just how doomed Gen Alpha is. But where are these horror stories coming from? And what makes Gen Alpha so different from all the generations before them? The
iPads!
short answer, the internet.
No, it's the iPad. The internet was here when I was there, and I wasn't that bad. It's the iPad. It's all those games. I don't want to say the game before they come and kick my ass. But you know the one I'm talking about, Roblox. Anyways.
Of iPad kids. When you think of a kid in today's day and age, how do you picture them? Most of you probably had an image of a kid with an iPad in their hands, right? That's because Gen Alpha is not only the youngest generation, but also the most technologically dependent one. Generation Alpha was raised by screens, whether by TV, a computer, or the infamous iPad. With almost 80% of kids owning an iPad or another version of a tablet, you can't deny the nickname that many call this generation, iPad kids.
This is what happens when mom and dad take away an iPad from 2-year-old.
Like, guys, people in the chat, I want you to actually all let me know. Anybody that's over the age of 25 or upwards, what would your parents be like if you threw a tantrum like this? Let Gen Alpha know in the comments. Let Gen Alpha know in the comments, because I don't think they understand.
Ashlyn Brooks.
Since their creation, iPads have been used as a tool for parents who are simply too busy with work.
And that's another problem, because people have to, and you know, let's be honest here, this problem is not just a problem of iPad kids. It's a problem that when we look at life nowadays, right? Back then, one person having one job could sustain a household. Now, because everything's gotten so much more expensive, rent is expensive, food has gotten expensive, things have gotten to the point that now in most households, 2 people have to have full-time jobs to keep the house going. And when you come home and you're tired and you have this thing that can distract your kid, obviously that's gonna happen. But then your kid that iPad starts literally having more control over your kid than you do. The problem now becomes a lot bigger. Sorry, I'm articulating the words in my head, but what I'm trying to say is the problem of iPad kids isn't just a kid being addicted to an iPad. It's unfortunately what has happened economically in society, that you can't have one parent house. You can't have like a one working family. Like 2 parents have to work now in the household. You all get what I mean anyways.
Technology has proven to be a hassle-free way of keeping kids occupied, whether at public places, social events, or just during the day-to-day. With iPads,
I don't get
being an evolved version of parenting in the 20th century, screens are simply considered the new nanny. And although parents may benefit from relaxing after work, iPads could be doing more harm than good.
I have a funny story. I know somebody who's an iPad kid, and I'm like, I've literally offered money to this child. I said, just get off your iPad for a couple, and we literally done. I said, for a whole day, guys, not 1 hour in, I quote, this girl said this word, I'll never forget. She said, I am having withdrawals. A 10-year-old said that she's having withdrawals from her iPad. Hey, I had to literally go like this, huh? Anyways, let's continue.
It's gotten to a point where Gen Alpha is entirely reliant on their devices, growing a digital addiction that they cannot seem to stop. In 2012, a 3-year-old boy was kicked off an Alaskan Airlines flight from Seattle because of the extreme temper tantrum he threw after getting his iPad taken away. The kid had been playing with a tablet before takeoff, but when planes ascend, all devices were asked to be turned off, and this one iPad was no exception. But when flight attendants tried to get the kid to turn his tablet off, he started to wreak havoc. The child began a raging outburst, hitting his head against the roof of the plane and desperately begging for his tablet back. His family tried to calm him down and buckle him in so that they could take off, but no one was able to control.
Do you guys know what would have happened to me, if I had dared cause a temper tantrum on a plane because they told me to take my iPad away for a few minutes? Bro, guys, if that happened to me, I am cooked. Let me tell you, I am cooked. Like, when I tell you cooked, Lord forgive me. Lord forgive me. Lord, oh, forgive me.
Things got so bad that the pilot had to turn the entire plane around on the runway. The boy and his entire family was escorted off the flight, causing them to miss their vacation to St. Martin Island. And this was over 10 years ago at the start of the iPad kids generation. Since then, Gen Alpha has grown more attached to their devices. Social media has become a part of their day-to-day routines for better or for worse, and it's caused kids to become addicted to the internet. And the stay-at-home crisis that happened in 2020 only made things worse. Kids were locked indoors and were unable to get any sort of social interaction from other peers or teachers. Gen Alpha was treating technology like a full-time job devoted.
Like, I don't think people realize that, like, how cooked we would have been if we acted like this if I acted like this when I was younger.
Putting 40 hours a week to using it. With social media being accessible to anyone, internet usage was at an all-time high. They couldn't go out to play because of restrictions, so the only way they could get any form of contact with the outside world was through their devices. Gen Alpha was going through critical development phases during the stay-at-home crisis. The online world became their new reality because it was all they knew. And considering the sort of horrible stuff that we have access to online, this is concerning.
It is very concerning. Like, I remember, like, there was a time, like, this might sound crazy, but, like, some of the things I've seen some of these kids searching up on their iPads is just crazy. Like, and these are talking about 9-10-year-olds, like, things that I probably wouldn't even be searching till I was 18, 19. These guys are searching at the age of 10.
Technology usage on its own isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's the content that's being consumed that's the real perpetrator. Parents may think that they know what their kids are watching online, but sometimes things aren't what they seem, even in videos supposedly made for kids.
Big thing, Roblox. Roblox was a big problem for this. I remember, what's that YouTuber that literally took Roblox on and nearly the whole of it, like, literally changed Roblox's policies, and they literally had to try to silence him as well, which was crazy.
Internet brain rot. You might have heard of the term brain rot, popularized by social media.
I know what's even crazy about brain rot. They fully made a game called Steal a Brain. These guys know exactly. But I promise you when I say this, yay! My headphones broke. 1 second. We fixed them. These guys know exactly what they're doing. Let me tell you the truth. They know exactly what they're doing. Yeah,
brain rot is the term that internet users have created to describe those lacking proper socialization and are obsessed with digital content to an unhealthy level.
Oh God, bro, Gen Alpha content's some of the most incoherent brain dead I've ever seen in my life, okay? Like, I can physically feel my brain cells frying every second I spend watching this.
Level 100 guy at.
And then now, guys, let me even tell you how worse it's getting. This is how bad it's getting. Now we have fruit AIs. Let me not even talk about them. Let me not even talk about them. Let's keep playing the video.
Spice Riz W Riz Guyat. You've Guyat to be rizzing me in Ohio at 3 a.m.
When you think about brain rot, Gen Alpha tends to be the usual demographic that comes to mind. That's because the internet has been their primary means of interaction with the world since they were born. Brain rot content can also be identified by the constant usage of internet slang, overly bright colors, and attention-grabbing content that switches every few seconds.
Like, can we just all remember how big that game Steal a Brain Rot was? Like, I just want people to remember how big Steal a Brain Rot was. And can we not just start putting two and two together?
A key example is popular kids media like Skibbity Toilet that seem to capitalize on Gen Alpha's decreasing attention span by overwhelming them with hyper-stimulating content. Skibbity Toilet is a web series on YouTube that features a variety of models from games like Garry's Mod and Counter-Strike as they battle in a raging war. The two sides are singing human-headed toilets, which are called Skibbity Toilets, and humanoids who have human bodies but items as their heads.
Like, you guys, I want you all to realize, I did not know that Skibbity Toilet and Skibbity all this was actually a game. I just thought it was some stupid saying that kids say. I didn't realize there's actually so much more to it.
Like cameras or TVs. The series was created by a man named Alexei Gerasimov. It first premiered on YouTube in February of 2023. Since the first episode was released, the channel had gained over 40.6 million subscribers.
I mean, I can't even gain 1 million. Hey! And this guy is gaining 46 million for what? Skibbity.
And has over 15 billion views to date. Each episode features the Skibbity Toilets and other characters engaged in full-on conflicts, animated in the most obscure and dramatic ways. There's never a dull moment in the videos, which to Gen Alpha is the exciting part. On the surface level, this might just seem like out-of-the-box wacky content for kids, but the harsh reality of it is that Skibbity Toilet could be damaging to children. With a
Could or is damaging. Let's not say could. We need to stop sugarcoating this bullshit, man. It is damaging. There's no it could be damaging.
constant overstimulating content, kids get used to hyperactivity, making everything else feel mundane. This can cause irritability, a low attention span, and a lack of patience since kids are now so used to hyperstimulation. Parents have long since been concerned with whether or not Skibbity Toilet is appropriate for their kids to watch, and it even got to a point where Russian authorities had to get involved to investigate the show. A Moscow man concerned over Skibbity Toilet's detrimental effects on children asked the police to block the videos from the internet to prevent kids from watching it. This investigation has gotten mixed opinions so far, with some claiming that getting the police involved over a kids series is ridiculous.
It's not. I don't think it's ridiculous per se, but I think there has to be a level of, we as a society have to be careful, because these are the kids who are going to be in the future in charge of the world. So I think it's not ridiculous. I just think it should be more restrictive.
Other parents also echoed the same concerns, believing that Skibbity Toilet may be doing more harm than good. While there's still no conclusive answer as to whether or not the series is negatively affecting children, this form of hyper-stimulating media has become a growing trend for Gen Alpha. Parents are becoming increasingly worried that their kids are becoming like zombies because of this kind of content.
And they are.
Another popular kids show is Cocomelon.
Now, you see with Cocomelon, this one I don't mind, because I believe it's just more for like nursery kids, you know. At the end of the day, when your kid is 1 or 2, like, you know,
which is usually targeted toward babies and younger children. Cocomelon has become one of the most famous kids shows and has been a go-to entertainment source for parents to show their kids. But in recent months, the once favorable reputation of Cocomelon has completely shifted, because now parents are starting to discover a correlation between their kids' behavioral issues and the show. On December 26th, 2021, TikTok user It's Mama Bell posted a video that raised some serious concerns about Cocomelon. The text on the video said that she had just switched from showing her kids Cocomelon to a YouTuber called Miss Rachel, and that prior to switching, her children would just sit in front of the TV like zombies. In the comments, countless moms agreed with her, saying that Miss Rachel, who is a YouTuber who focuses on educational content, was much more beneficial for their kids.
And I do agree, you know. Like, it's It's so hard because they're actually all so smart. These people that make these things.
More and more parents realized that their kids were becoming addicted to Cocomelon to the point where they wouldn't be able to move away from the screen. And they weren't learning anything from the show either. The show focused solely on keeping the children's attention with bright colors, repetitive songs, and fast jump cuts. All of which are tactics that the show uses to keep kids hooked.
Let's see how many seconds it takes for each one of these scenes to change. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1.
Like, I don't think guys realize how smart these people are that create these shows.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
This epidemic of overstimulation can be compared to the feeling that you get from substances, hence why Cocomelon is so addictive to children. And it's not just random TikTokers that have said this. Actual childhood experts have chimed in, agreeing that Cocomelon is too overstimulating for kids, which can lead to addiction. Cocomelon watchers are usually between ages 2 and 5, which are critical years when it comes to early childhood.
And it's so funny because one of my friends has a kid, and I remember he always sent me videos of the kid watching this Cocomelon, and the kid is just there, like, you know, just zoned in, and you're just like, whoa, you know?
Development. This is the time when kids are developing language, creativity, and social skills. And shows like Cocomelon have possibly only made these tasks more difficult. And not to mention the disturbing influx of ElsaGate content that's taken over all of the kid-friendly platforms.
What the hell?
And I have a whole separate video of that you can watch. All of this inappropriate content not only has caused concern for Gen Alpha parents, but also for teachers as well. Because not only are kids becoming more addicted to screens, but they're also doing much worse in school. The dumber generation.
This would be crazy.
It's a common theme in social media for people to say that Gen Alpha is considered one of the dumber generations. The more kids become...
But this is my actual question for all you guys. Who is to blame for this? Because if you ask me who's to blame, everybody. Well, to be honest, who do I hold the highest responsibility? Is as much as you want to blame the parents, it's the way the cost of living has caused people not to be able to have more time to spend with their kids because they have to work so much. Even some people having to work 2 jobs. Like, you know, it's mad. It's just mad. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Addicted to their screens, the harder it is for them to live a life away from it. That includes during school hours. It's as if kids are having a harder time paying attention, likely because the internet may be conditioning their brains to shorter content, hence a shorter attention span.
Now, you know, this has even affected me with TikTok. Like, you know, YouTube back in the day, I'd be able to sit down there, watch an hour video. Sometimes I find it so hard to watch an hour video because of the short form content. Like, so imagine if the short form content is affecting me. What is it going to do to like a 10 or 9-year-old that probably has never watched long form content before to that stage?
Teachers around the world have been going viral on TikTok after sharing just how concerned they are about the educational development of their Gen Alpha students. They have said that students are now reading and writing at several grade levels behind, with a large majority of kids being unable to understand basic literacy, spelling, and grammar.
This 8th grade kid could not spell a single word correctly on this list.
How did he spell discordant Fred? Except Rager, Mr. Biss, memorize, Mr. Bliss, commitment, he spelled commit, unique, he spelled unique, reckness, he spelled recognize, he spelled reckness. Oh my dear.
8th grade.
I want you, chat, look at this. I want you to look at this. This is ridiculous.
TikTok user QBski is an elementary school teacher from Atlanta, Georgia, who took to TikTok to express his concern for the students in his class. He said that although he teaches a 7th grade class, many of his students are nowhere near that level of education.
I teach 7th grade, they are still performing on the 4th grade level. Ain't nobody talking about how they just keep moving, passing them on. I can put as many zeros in this grade book as I want to. They're gonna move that child to the 8th grade next year.
This teacher even stated that some of the students in his class perform at kindergarten, first, second, and third grade levels, even though they're
Now, for my Irish people, kindergarten, all those levels is like preschool, first class, second, junior infant, senior infant, first class, second class. This is like, imagine someone like in 5th class performing at senior infant's first class level.
just 2 years away from entering high school. And he's not the only teacher that feels this way.
And I teach at one of the more affluent schools. When I tell you that these babies cannot read, they cannot write, and they cannot comprehend, I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious.
When it comes to high school kids, it's not much better because the creator, Cool Nace, aka N, said that her 10th and 11th grade English students were only capable of performing at a 6th or 7th grade reading level despite being in their upper years of high school. And
Do you know how mad that is?
6th or 7th grade reading level despite being in their upper years of high school.
Like you're in your upper years of high school. Oh my God. God, it's only you. Oluwa Jesu Christi Oba. It's only you, God, that can fix this.
And other sources continue to claim that Gen Alpha kids don't only have poor learning skills, they have poor behavior too. Young students misbehaving in the classroom.
Bro, let me tell you a funny story, right? Imagine like, if I got this anger in school, and I disrespected the teacher like this when I was in school, and my mom found out. I was afraid to disrespect teachers at times. Now, there was times teachers did cross the line, and you kind of have to stand up for yourself. Like, I remember I got suspended from school one day because I picked up these stupid things we used to do reading in school. And I picked it up, and because I needed glasses back then, and even I had to get an optician letter, and then I got suspended because I couldn't read something properly, because I was, I don't know, short sight, long sight, whatever the one is that you need to read stuff up closer. But like, even at that point, I was shitting myself, thinking, like, wow, like that was this thing is discombobulating my mind. Anyways.
Has become the new norm, and when teachers like N try to discipline them properly, it doesn't work out.
My principal told me you can't do that in Georgia. They have completely taken discipline out of education at the
And I think that's another thing, that discipline is not, I'm not talking about physical discipline now, like at the end of the day. I'm talking about discipline in the sense of like, I believe because a lot of people know, in a good way, more people know about their rights, but because you know about your rights, it's being abused so much more now, because you know your right, that teacher can't do this or that, like teacher can't talk to you this way or that way, or because if they talk to you this way or that way, you're gonna report them. Me go report a teacher. My mom will report me before I go and report a teacher, bro.
point, especially in Georgia. You cannot use the grade book to implement any kind of discipline or any kind of enforcement with students. And that is going to be the ruin of our kids.
But it's not just attention disorders that are at fault here. The internet has also given Gen Alpha a golden ticket when it comes to cheating their way through school. ChatGPT.
Do you remember, I don't think people remember, like when ChatGPT first came out, like the amount of people that have used this, the amount of people that should be counting their luck when they use ChatGPT as time. There was no ChatGPT detectors or anything that have passed their exams because of this thing. Is crazy.
AI tools like ChatGPT can easily help kids finish their homework in seconds. The shift has reduced the emphasis on work ethic along with valuable life skills like critical thinking and communication. Without these skills, Gen Alpha has become prone to all sorts of influences because since they are so conditioned to only look at the surface level, they take most of what they see on social media as the truth without researching for themselves and questioning it. Everything they see online is immediately taken as a fact, which is detrimental to these young, impressionable kids. And companies are taking advantage of this. They're targeting a demographic that they shouldn't be. Kids. The gullible generation. Anywhere you go on the internet, you are destined to run into an advertisement. Whether on the TikTok shop or just casually scrolling on social media, marketing has evolved from billboards and newspapers to scrolling on your phone. Adults are able to understand what an organic piece of content is versus a paid promotion, but young kids are less perceptive of this. They use viral trends as guidelines for what they should or should not like.
100%.
even if it's not meant for them.
As kids consume more online content, including advertising, they're being influenced to buy products that are just not made for them.
Like, why is a kid looking at this? Like, why does a kid care about what soap they're using for their body? Bro!
We see this happening all the time with Gen Alpha, especially due to the rising
Why is a kid caring about skincare? Just get a bit of V45, slap it on your body and cream yourself and you'll be fine. Why is a kid caring about skincare? Fair enough. If you have really bad skin or acne or something, this kid's skin is perfect. Why does this kid care about why does this kid care about skincare? My 9-year-old, oh my days. Do you know when I was a kid, yeah? All they'll give me to use is E45, or does anybody remember those tubes of Vaseline? For my black people, those tubes of Vaseline that smelled nice. That's what they'll do. What's all this? What's all this?
influence of TikTok, but they aren't alone.
Oh my days. Oh.
Millennials and older generations drive forward these trends.
Why is this person's mom
and make the mainstream on social media? One product being the infamous Stanley Cup.
Oh my days, that Stanley Cup. Let me not get started.
Drawing screams of excitement and tears of joy. This year's hottest stat.
A Stanley Cup. A Stanley Cup is what is making this generation jump up like this. Hey!
Symbol and most coveted holiday gift.
I got a Stanley!
Is the Stanley Tumbler.
This tumbler cup has become the reason for multiple news headlines and heavy in-person lines as early as 4 a.m. And because it's so popular, people are willing to go to the ends of the earth to get one. Although this is the new craze, if you want to get your hands on one, it won't be cheap. The Stanley Tumbler will run you back around $45 USD.
And that's what I've never understood. You could just get a B-Tech one from your local Mr. Price, or I don't know what the equivalent of the dollar shop is in America, but your local Mr. Price is what we'd say here, or your local deals. People that jump in, oh my goodness.
With limited edition cups costing even more than that.
I know what's so annoying about these things, right? They've done the marketing so well that these kids or people who love Stanley Cups or all this shit will market it so well to you. You'll say, well, I can get that one. But you know, Stanley survived the fire, it this and that. It keeps your... I don't care!
This cost is pretty hefty for a water bottle, and it's definitely not one that everyone can afford. But there are consequences if you can't pay for one.
Ohio mom Dana Motika went viral on TikTok, posting how her 9-year-old daughter was bullied for bringing a less expensive look-alike to school.
Bro, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Imagine me. I wish if my mom ever wants to comment on my video, she will even tell you herself. Mom, you're listening. Imagine me going to bully another kid because he didn't get a Stanley Cup or something branded. My mom would, I love my mom with all my heart, but she will give me a lecture like I've never got before. That's what I would say. But how dare a kid bully another kid for a cup? I'm telling you, just because kids don't get discipline no more. My friend, I remember when I was younger, people getting grounded was a regular thing. Can't come out for 1-2 weeks. I never heard kids getting grounded. Or even if they got grounded, who are you to ground me? Oh my days. I know my rights. Hey, yeah.
Dana had bought her daughter a $10 Stanley look-alike from Walmart as a gift for Christmas. Her daughter brought the cup to school after Christmas break, only to come home upset because kids in school were bullying her. The sole reason, because her Stanley Cup was fake. Over the break, multiple girls in her grade had gotten real Stanley Cups as presents, and they were quick to call out Dana's daughter for her dupe. They said that hers was not as cool and made fun of her because of it.
Because of a cup. Can we... because of a cup.
To us, it might seem wild that a young girl is being bullied over not having an expensive water bottle, but for Gen Alpha, this is their new reality. Gen Alpha has become possibly one of the most materialistic generations ever. With so much advertising being shown at their young eyes, these kids feel the need to buy everything they see or face the fear of not fitting in. And it's not just Stanley Cups that have proven this. Earlier this year, the beauty retailer Sephora made headlines after multiple story times about Sephora 10-year-olds went viral on TikTok.
Viral clips have been going around of kids going in Sephora making a big mess.
During this trend, dozens of people flooded the TikTok For You page with their own personal horror stories with Generation Alpha shoppers at the makeup store.
Like, guys, why? No, because they say if I say that they should make all these things over 18, they'll say I'm a bad guy. Let me not say it.
Complained that the kids were rude and had no respect for anyone or anything in the store.
I'm in Sephora right now, and I'm going to count how many 10-year-olds I see. 1, 2, 3. Currently walking past a 10-year-old getting her eyebrows done. 4, 5, 6. There's a whole group of them over here.
Kids as young as 4 were shopping in the aisles of Sephora for expensive beauty products.
I'm just speechless at this point.
That they clearly did not need. And the reason behind it, the internet.
All she wants for the holidays is, well, not toys, but skincare products.
All I wanted this year was skincare and makeup.
Social media has become Gen Alpha's go-to guide for how to live their life. Whatever they see influencers do, they want to do. Whatever they see influencers buy, they want to buy. With every beauty influencer on platforms like TikTok and Instagram becoming obsessed with skincare,
and the fact that someone's parent is right here enabling it is even pissing me off the most.
it was only natural for Gen Alpha kids to follow in their footsteps. But this can be a red flag, especially for parents, as social media sets a bad example for young girls. The Sephora kids trend is a prime example. These young girls do not need to...
I want to show you guys something, right?
For young girls. The Sephora kids trend is a prime example. These young girls do not need to be spending hundreds of dollars on...
I want to show you something.
And is a prime example. These young girls do not need to be spending hundreds of dollars on beauty for parents and alpha kids to follow in their footsteps. But this can be a red flag, especially for parents as
See, like me, when I was in my group of friends, we would be in a sweet shop getting sweets. You know, this would be us as a group. What in a makeup shop, like, I'm not girl, but anyways, like when I said friends, even the group of girls that were with us, in a shop like this, we'd all be sitting out on the green playing football. Everybody will be sitting in the corner and not playing football. We'll be sitting there looking at everybody else playing football, playing TikTok. And these people are in Sephora. What are they looking for in Sephora?
social media sets a bad example for young girls. The Sephora kids trend is a prime example. These young girls do not need to be spending hundreds of dollars.
Your sister is one of those 10-year-old Sephora girls.
On beauty products that are targeted at...
Guys, why does a 10-year-old have that much makeup? Someone please explain to me, why does a 10-year-old have that much makeup? No, please, explain it. It makes no logical sense.
At adults. These products have chemicals and ingredients that can be harmful to kids, especially the ones that have gone viral online. Drunk Elephant is the name on every Gen Alpha's tongue. Originally a skincare brand meant for millennials, now a larger portion of Drunk Elephant's consumer base consists of beauty-obsessed kids.
All kids should know is E45 or Eucerin. Why do you need a Drunk Elephant?
With products priced from $20 to upwards of over $100, this is
in my life. Oh, Lua Jesus Christi Oba, my child comes, even if I have, by the grace of God, I have millions, comes and asks me for $134. $134 skincare. Wait a minute. Christy. What would you do if your child asked you for $134 skincare? For $134 of skincare. That's reasonable. For skincare. For your 10-year-old daughter.
Not for a 10-year-old, but it is reasonable.
No, but I'm talking for a 10-year-old.
Depends, Demi. One moisturizer is like €30.
Yeah, but would you buy your child $134 skincare? You are part of the problem. You are part of the problem.
You know one thing of CeraVe wash is like 30.
Okay, we're not talking about CeraVe. We're talking about Sephora.
Even the kids ones, the bubble, whatever, they're expensive.
Okay, it's fine, but would you let them buy adults? Why are they buying €124? There's E45 there. But Christina, $194.
But you look at the ingredients, you don't have to be giving them retinol and stuff.
Yeah, okay, but would you let your child buy $124 one stick?
One stick is not $130.
No, but if one stick was $124, thank you. No, that's what I want to say.
But then even a Summer Fridays lip balm is €30.
What does my kid need Summer Fridays lip balm for? What Summer Friday? There's Vaseline there. Jared's €3. Anyways, guys, let's get back into this.
Definitely not a brand that most kids can afford to buy, at least without the help of their parents. But is this really something that parents want to be getting for their kids? Many of these Drunk Elephant products contain ingredients like peptides, acids, and retinol, which can all be damaging to you.
She did say if it contains retinol, she's not buying it for her kids, so that's the one. But anyways, that's an argument for another day. Anyways, for me, I'm not $134. Hey, you can all call me uncle or whatever you want to call me. $134 for skincare is a no. There's Vaseline, there's Eucerin, there's other baby lotions out there.
Youthful skin. Retinol is a form of vitamin A that's known for its anti-aging effects with higher
Why does a 10-year-old, listen, a 10-year-old that probably won't develop wrinkles till they're 50 or 60 need anti-aging?
Concentrations being used to fight wrinkles. These kinds of high concentrations are regularly found in beauty products and are definitely not meant for young girls. But it's not only physical health concerns the parents are having about this growing obsession with skincare and makeup. It's also the mental effects too.
Social media is doing this, and this could be setting up a lot of young girls with issues that'll follow them well into adulthood.
Young girls are constantly being overwhelmed with societal beauty standards.
I don't care. What does
an ever-changing trend.
I don't care what anybody says. What does a 10-year-old need all this makeup for? Please, enlighten me in the comments what a 10-year-old needs all this makeup for. You shouldn't even be caring that much about putting makeup on when you're 10. Who are you trying to impress?
Trends in fashion and beauty. And for Gen Alpha, this pressure has only increased with the influx of social media influencers.
No, don't blame influencers. Do not blame influencers for anything like that. Blame the parents, please. Maybe sometimes with influencers, I'm like, but when it comes to shit to do with kids, influencers are not the problem. If you're letting your kid be influenced by influencers, you're not a good influence on your kid. Remember what I said there.
They look up to influencers more than they do their own parents. But is this influence positive or negative? I'm addicted. Gen Alpha is social media obsessed. It's said that by the age of 1, the average Gen Alpha kid already has over 100 pictures of them posted on social media. Almost every Gen Alpha kid is on social media. It's their main form of communication with their friends and where they get the latest news. But
guys, I promise you, by the grace of God, by the grace of my Father in heaven, I can live in a nice gated community or a nice estate. I'm calling all the parents for a meeting and I'm telling them our children will not be Gen Alpha children in Jesus' name. My children will not be addicted to iPads in Jesus' name. They will learn what it's like to play outside in Jesus' name.
Their social media screen time is often unregulated by parents, so there's no telling what these Gen Alpha kids are watching on their devices. And that's the scary part. Although most social media platforms have age restrictions or content guidelines, kids can easily bypass them just by lying about their age.
And it's actually very scary how easy it is for people to bypass this in anything whatsoever. Like any type of thing that you just ask, are you 18? Are you 18? Like, look, I'm not always for putting your, like your passport or like a digital ID. But sometimes, and people might disagree what I'm going to say, when it comes to like certain things, I'm all for digital ID in certain scenarios because when it's so easy for them to just press yes, I am, bro, please, hey, don't shoot me, but I'm just saying the truth. I'm for it in certain circumstances. And when it comes to children.
And regardless if the platform is meant for younger audiences, anyone can... break the rules by posting inappropriate content anyway. TikTok, the most popular platform for Gen Alpha, is a mishmash of all different sorts of content. The For You page throws a bunch of different videos together in an endless scroll, showing users the type of content that they like, as well as new content that they've never seen before. One of the
the more I think about it, the fact Australia bans kids from using social media, I hear it still more and more every day. I wasn't a bigger fan about it at the start. When you're watching things like this and you're seeing the breakdown, I know people will say it's not all kids, it's majority of kids nowadays. Majority. Do I think Australia should have went to the extent they did? No, but I do think that they could have gone down the route of making it more education based. Like, just if you want to be on these things, it's STEM. It's very heavily regulated and monitored.
most common trends that you can find on social media is thirst trapping. This form of content is meant to attract attention from viewers, usually in the form of,
and I'm telling you right now, X is the worst for this,
posing, dancing, or acting seductively. Although the nature of this content is meant for a much older audience, there's a ton of kids participating in these trends without realizing its implications.
I promise you, if I see a kid that I know ever engaging in this rubbish, I'm reporting you to the police. I'm reporting you to the guards. The guards, police, same thing. I'm reporting you to your parents, and I'm reporting you to social services.
It's become more and more common to see a Gen Alpha kid dressed up in revealing clothing making thirst trap content, which in itself is already unsettling. But not to mention,
and you can all say I'm a bad guy. I'm not a bad guy, guys. You know what the things you don't understand now, but the older you guys get, you will genuinely see why your parents or people were trying to tell you this shit is not good for you.
There's no telling who's watching or saving this content online, which can leave them vulnerable to a certain audience that may have other intentions.
And we've heard about, how many times have we heard about even people in the highest order having thousands and thousands of pictures of underage kids on their phone, going to jail. Like, oh, it's disgusting. Even the ones we don't hear, like,
with the influx of OF promotions, adult content is becoming more accessible. With social media heavily influencing young people, it's become difficult for them to see the importance of real relationships. 1 in 4 children go outside to play nowadays, missing crucial social interaction.
1 in 4. 1 in 4. Like, I remember when I was younger, my estate, are you coming out? If I ask, look, I'm going to even prove the social media. I'm going to ask someone to come and knock. I'm going to ask a child, what do you know what it means to come and knock for your friend? They will not know.
Most of Gen Alpha spends their time indoors consuming media meant for adults. The severe dopamine addictions from internet platforms like TikTok have resulted in negative effects on younger generations, as simple as enjoying their day-to-day life. Kids no longer have the patience for anything because they're so used to the instant gratification that social media provides them. Kids can't do simple, everyday tasks like brushing their teeth, eating food, or using the restroom without the constant stimulation of a screen. Gen Alpha becomes impatient and frustrated at the drop of a hat, with even the smallest inconveniences getting blown out of proportion, turning into full tantrums or breakdowns.
This is very scary.
With most of their learning coming from the internet, they're being exposed to horrible behavior from those entitled influencers that they see online.
And when you look at the biggest influencers now who flaunt their opulent lifestyles and endorse things like OnlyFans, are these really the people you want raising your children?
Now the question is Generation Alpha really doomed? I've talked a lot about the problems of Gen Alpha, but there are still many strengths that they have. Gen Alpha has access to more resources, knowledge, and tools than ever before. They're living in an exciting time, with technology advancing at such a rapid pace and them being so adaptable to it. If they're able to use the internet for good rather than bad, they can become some of the most intelligent people on the planet. And they're also born with empathy inside them. The future can be bright for Gen Alpha. All they need is a little guidance and a push in the right direction. We, as people who care, can monitor what our siblings are doing on social media. And as adults, we can teach our kids the value of hard work, and we can be better examples for them to follow. My friends, it's time to stop the internet from destroying this generation.
I agree.
Visual venture.
We need to stop the internet from destroying these kids. Genuinely speaking, like, honest to God, from the bottom of my heart, We need to stop this. We need to make sure these kids, we need to help them. Because eventually, if we're not careful, they're cooked. They're genuinely cooked.